Good evening, Walking Dead family. This is Brian Castrillo here with another review for The Walking Dead Season 10C, Episode 20, titled Splinter. And this is kind of a princess-centric episode. If you were looking for a lot of action, this may not have been one of your favorite ones, but I really enjoyed this. I really got to enjoy getting to know who the princess is, what she's all about, and what we can kind of expect going into season 11. We got a little bit of taste of the Commonwealth. We didn't see some of the big characters like maybe Pamela Milton, Sebastian, or Mercer, or did we? Um, but anyways, let's just dive right into this. Um, Now we're we see in the beginning where they all kind of get captured. You see Yumiko get hit in the face with a gun while she's trying to talk to Princess, and Princess is yelling back to her. Fun fact about this episode, from what I understand, Yumiko was not able to be in this episode because of restrictions on travel. What we see of Yumiko in this episode is, from what I understand, is actually her body double. Um, But we get back. We see Princess is thrown into the train car. She smashes her head up against the side. Kind of real violent. Not really what I was expecting of these Commonwealth guards. Um, but they do that, and you see they take Princess into a room. They kind of shower her down, and I'm guessing that they're. I mean, the one guard's checking her out, but I'm assuming that he's looking for zombie bites and whatnot. But I mean, we all know. But so Princess then gets interviewed by one of the Commonwealth guards, and these guards are kind of like a cross between um, a stormtrooper and Master Shredder. I know you guys saw those things. That I immediately thought of Master Shredder, but from the Ninja Turtles. But he's asking her questions, and like, where were you in the fall? And of course, Princess, she's kind of has a bit of an attitude. We're sensing she doesn't really want to answer these questions. She's like, what does that even matter? I just want to see Yumiko. Is she okay? And the guard is like, she's fine. Just answer the question. Why are you evading the question? And Princess is just kind of given that attitude. She doesn't want to put up with that. She's feisty, and it. And I'm really kind of enjoying this interaction with her, because Princess isn't taking no guff from nobody. Um, but then at the end, the guard's like, you know what? No, she's not coming. And he ends up punching her in the face. Um, and it got pretty wild there. And then she's thrown back into the cart. And Princess, she sees like a sort of a hole, and she's picking at the side of the cart, and she ends up getting a splinter in her hand. She's trying to talk to Yumiko, who you can kind of see her laying down in the next cart over, and she's disheveled. She sounds like she's fading out, and she's hurt, and Princess is very concerned for her, and she's trying to talk to her and says, I gotta do, I'm gonna do what I can to get everybody else out. And Yumiko's like, no, just do what they ask, just do what they ask. And um and Princess, of course, is very very scared for Yumiko, because she Yumiko doesn't sound good. She got hit in the head with the butt end of a rifle, um, and pretty hard. I don't know if she's bleeding, if she's got a concussion, or if she's even dying. We don't really know, because all we just see through a little hole, and we know that she's Yumiko's laying down. She's in trouble. She's definitely hurting. We don't know what her health is. Um, there's a moment where Yumiko, not Yumiko, but Princess actually finds where there's like I don't know if it's a metal plate or just a piece of wood that's nailed into the side, because there's a big hole in there. And it makes me think that these guys are kind of like the stormtroopers of Star Wars, who historically we know they can't hit the blind side of a barn, but and obviously, I mean, who leaves a big hole like that if you're gonna imprison somebody or if that's like your spot? I just thought that was kind of hilarious. But so she gets out of the cart and she's talking to Eugene, and Eugene's like, "No, we've worked too hard to get here." And of course, he has that that rapport with Stephanie, who he's trying to get in touch with, and to Eugene, these are good people. Of course, if you remember from the last time we saw them all together, Princess and Eugene, I remember that hilarious moment where Princess is like, "You're really one horny dude," because he's so intent on getting to Stephanie. But but during this conversation, you see Eugene, he's in the next cart, just kind of like a metal grating, and he's talking through there, and Princess is talking about, "We need to get you out," and Eugene wants nothing to do with it. He just wants to see things through. He believes that nothing's going to happen to him. The guards go by, and Princess is going kind of to the other side of the cart. Apparently, they don't go on that side of the cart. Again, the stormtrooper bumbling. I'm just laughing at this whole transaction. But she goes back into the cart, and we see all of a sudden the top open, and there's King Ezekiel, and he jumps down, and the way he landed kind of reminded me of a superhero, like that 3 point. Just go watch that again. Everyone from Spider-Man to when they make that drop, it's like that. That was Ezekiel to a T in that a moment. But then Princess is talking about, she gets into her past and some of the mental abuse that she endured from her family, her stepdad, both physical and mental. And she talks about how the guard hit her in an old wound that her stepdad did to her. And one of the things that not Eugene, but Ezekiel says to her, he's like, "No, I will never let anyone hurt you again." And I don't know about you guys. I mean, let me know in the comments, but I was getting kind of a vibe that there was sort of maybe a possible Ezekiel Princess romance in the workings. Now, I know in the comics it's, Princess and Mercer. Again, I'm going to come back to that Mercer. But I was getting sort of a Ezekiel Princess sort of like attachment. And so the guard comes back in, and you see Ezekiel go off to the side. I don't know where he went. And the guard comes in, and then out of nowhere, Ezekiel just knocks him in the face, knocks him down. And Ezekiel, and he's like so intense. We see him pounding away on the guard, and I was like, whoa. I mean, I guess when you're in that situation, you don't know what's going to happen, and adrenaline takes over, and you do what you need to survive. And you see, he's punching the hell out of this guard. The guard's getting bloody, and then it fades away, and you realize that Ezekiel was never there, and that's actually Princess that was doing that. And this is going into some of Princess's issues that she's dealing with mental health and whatnot, and which is kind of interesting because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe in The Walking Dead there's been a character that they really delve into their mental health, which in The Walking Dead you would think like in this type of world, mental health is going to be a big thing. You're dealing with walkers, loss of life, loss of family, friends. So I really thought that was kind of interesting how they're getting into that. And prior to that, you saw Princess, she was thinking about leaving, and she's crawling under the fence, and she tries to get out, but her the weapon that she took from the guard was still attached to her, and she couldn't get out. And this scene had me cracking up. And you see King Ezekiel come, and he's with two walkers that looked like they were train car. I mean, maybe they worked for the train, the conductors or whatever. And he's walking with them, and he's just talking like randomly. The walkers aren't even paying attention to him, which again is further showing that Princess is, manifesting this whole thing going on, and King's not there, but King Ezekiel is kind of like her conscious, and trying to make her realize that she doesn't need to leave. But he wanted her to see that and her to figure that out for herself. At least, in her mind, that was what was going on. So I really enjoyed the kind of the mental health aspect, and it's going to be really interesting knowing who Princess is and how this is going to affect her possibly getting into the Commonwealth. Two other things that I wanted to get into is two things that I heard the Commonwealth Guards mention. One of them was, and I quote, "I don't know about you, I've never seen one turn that fast." So what did that mean? Who turned what fast? Was that, talking about Princess, how she, gave up information quickly? But when I think about turning fast, I'm thinking about someone who died and turned into a walker. I mean, you go into Fear the Walking Dead, you had the military there that was, you remember Troy Otto, and he was killing individuals, testing to see, how long it took someone to turn. Of course, the CRM is doing this, as we know. And through this episode, we know that Yumiko is hurting. She could be dying, concussion or whatever. Are they talking about Yumiko? Did Yumiko die? And right at the end, they show Princess as, she relinquished the gun back to the guard when she, was done telling her that she's not crazy, and she's dealing with PTSD and ADD and a variety of different ailments that she's dealing with. They open the car door, and you see Eugene, Yumiko, and King Ezekiel. They're all there. When they got the bags over the head, they put the bag over Princess's head. And if you're looking at Yumiko, she's not really moving. I mean, she's standing there, and all three of them, their hands are bound and they're tied. Could it be possible that Yumiko possibly died in the other cart from head trauma, from getting to hit too hard? But there could be another. Now we know that Ezekiel, he was dealing with the thyroid cancer, and he had that growth in his neck, and he was getting sicker. We saw in the previous episodes how sick he was getting. He was getting frail on the commute all the way up to the Commonwealth to try and meet Stephanie. So what if Ezekiel had died during this? And I actually went back and I was watching. It's only about 3 seconds, maybe tops. You don't really get a lot to really to watch this, but I was watching the movements of Eugene to see if he was okay, and he's taking some pretty some jerky steps, but I think that's because he's being pushed, and it's just. And then I looked at Yumiko, and she's just standing like this, not really moving much. And I keep playing this back and forth and back and forth, and I'm watching body movements. Look at Ezekiel. watch his head movement, and he's doing something like very very sudden jerky movements with his head, and it kind of brings me back to the governor and his daughter when she had the bag over her head, and you're watching the head movement, and it's, you know, it's the same thing. And it makes me wonder, did we already lose Ezekiel? And possibly Yumiko, I mean, because she was hit really, really hard. But did we already lose a major character before season 11? I could be way off. I could be, I don't know, but it made me think, like, why did the guard say, you know, I've never seen one turn that fast? What was he talking about? And I guess we'll have to wait till season 11 to figure that out. The next one is one of the guards. I think he was joking. He said, you could be the one to tell Mercer. It was very low. There was a lot of noise during that scene, but Mercer was mentioned. His name was dropped. It's a little tease, little hint. We didn't get to see Mercer. I cannot wait to see Mercer with the orange. Finally step out. Looks like we're gonna have to wait till season 11 actually is here, but it was kind of cool to hear his name dropped. And also in the beginning, I was definitely getting some Terminus vibes. I mean, I know this is different type of cards, but just right from the beginning, I was thinking of Terminus, another great time frame in The Walking Dead. But so overall, I really enjoyed this. I like getting to know more about Princess. I loved how they kind of dealt with mental health, and because you know that's got to be plaguing a lot of people during this, and I never mentioned it, and it was just kind of cool for them to get into that. We didn't get to see much of the Commonwealth and who they are, minus the one guard who I thought didn't actually there was two guards, because there was the one who was interviewing and then the other guard in the train car. I thought both of them did a very good job. Not quite sure if the guy interviewing him, who was kind of hardcore, I don't know if that's Sebastian, because Sebastian I thought was going to be, you know, a lot nicer, but I guess we'll see. We'll have to wait and find out. Now, as always, I love giving shout outs to my friends. I love kind of lifting them up, and that's kind of what I want to do at the end of every one of my videos. And today's going to be no different. You might notice this shirt that I've been wearing. Well, this guy right here is a pretty awesome guy. He's my close personal friend, Joseph Napick. He is also known as Father Seymour Rott. Here in Columbus, Ohio, we've done, well, he has been forefront of the Columbus Zombie Walk. They've raised money for, you know, the local community, those who needed food, who could not provide for themselves. He did so much in the community, and he really is a local legend. His special effects makeup that he does is absolutely amazing. He is, again, Father Seymour Rott. He absolutely amazing, and I'm going to put his information in the comments. But the guy I want to shout out today is an artist known as Rob Sachetto. I hope I am doing him justice in saying his name correctly, but he designed this t-shirt for my buddy Joseph Napick, aka Father Seymour Rott. But this guy has amazing t-shirts. Let me just stand up here so you can get a good look at it. Absolutely amazing. I love this shirt. He does a lot of zombie prints, portraits, absolutely amazing work, and I want you to check him out. He's on Facebook. He has his own websites. I'm going to make sure that you have all those sites in the comments below. Definitely check him out. If you enjoyed what we talked about, drop a comment. Let me know what you thought. Please press that like, share possibly, and I want to get some feedback. I hope you're enjoying what we're doing here. We got a couple more episodes before we go on to Fear the Walking Dead, which starts April 11th. But again, thank you for listening. Love you guys. Can't wait for that next episode.